Hi, everybody. This is Straight A Programming. I'm going to talk about process creation, process termination, and coordination. So, so I included standard in, standard out. Wait is for the child processes. This program is going to demonstrate process management. So, like when I run this program, the running code process creation is going to be an instance of this. So the program's got to run for this to occur. So I to demonstrate a simple program, I create like a initial value of 10, and I print it out. So the initial process right now um, that printed that out, initial value of variable int value. Um, that's like going to be the parent process. So that same process is going to call the fork. Okay. And so some things could happen when the fork is called by the original process. It's going to create it should, if it's successful, it should create a child process, and so they're both going to take separate paths. So at this point right here, and it's going to be successful. So at this point here, a separate child process is created. So when this code is ran, each process is going to run it. And so now there's two processes, and we call this process that called the fork the parent, and the second process is the child. And they're both going to do this print statement, and they're both going to print out what's returned in the variable PID. And so in this variable, so when the parent process, the original process, looks at this, it's going to be the PID the parent gets is going to be the PID of child. So the PID is like a process. Everything that happens, like this, when this program runs, when I open this bash, anything that's happening on this computer, there's a process number. So this created a process number. Now the parent is going to get the child's process number. So if I want to know the process of the created process, I would need the PID from the parent. What the parent gets as the PID. So if it's less than zero, then this process failed for various reasons, like there's not enough uh, memory or something like that. So if it's a negative number, it's going to be a exit. The program's going to stop. If the PID that's returned is zero, that's what the child process gets. The new process is going to get this value of the fork is going to be a zero, and I'll print out. This is going to be like work of the second process, printing things out just to, and um, so like the integer value, they both got a copy of this value, and so the child process is going to add 10. Print out some stuff. This is all like a separate process, and then exit on success. And then the last, if the PID is not zero and it's not negative, it's going to be positive, and that positive PID is going to be the child's process number. So So I print all that out. And so sometimes now there's two processes. We want this parent process to continue even if this finishes first. So you call the wait. So it'll wait for the child process to terminate. So in this one, I just subtract 5 from the initial value. And so I print that out so we can see the difference. And so that's a simple program to show the process creation, process termination, and the fork and the exit are process APIs, and there's more to that. Wait is a process API, and I'll talk about more about wait later. So I'll run the program. So initial value is 10. And so, like I said, this is printed twice, and it's right here too. It's up here and here. So it's either going to, if the fork is successful, it's going to be positive or 0. Since this is not 0 and it's positive, this is the child's PID. All right. Okay. So the process that printed this out is the parent. Down here, if this is 0, it's the child's the child. This is the child process doing this because they got the value of PID to 0. And so in the parent branch, in the if, when it goes to the path of the if, it goes to the else branch. The fork was successful. Return child's PID to the parent, which is 958, and then it's minus at 5 from the initial value of 10. There's 5. The parent process used get PID to print out its PID value, and the parent process PID is 807. So now the child process was created, and they added 10 to this initial value. This is 20, and you see the child says their PID is 958, which is what was returned to the parent, and the parent's PID is 957, which the parent says up here. Now I'm going to talk about this parent PID 807. I forgot to mention something that I was printing on. Get PID. Get PID gets the PID process number of the process that's calling it. Now get PPID with this extra P is getting the parent. And so they both do that. So now we know the child process, we know the initial process was the parent, and the child process is the child of this parent. Now, when the parent calls this code, they have a parent. Okay, so let's see if I can quickly bring this up. So this code right here, 807. Now 807. Um, this is the parents process. So you type that, and it's the bash. This terminal is the bash terminal. So the parent process to the process running that originally printed this out, that was running the program before the second process was created. The parent of that initial process is the bash script. So that's a simple demonstration of process creation and termination and some of the process APIs. Thank you for watching.